Now, as with everything you learn and everything you hear from people, including me and anyone else, take this for the words they are, but hear the message underneath. So, with that being said, in this video I want to explain how God and aliens are basically the same thing. Basically. Okay? Now let's say, I'll start with aliens because it's lesser looked at in a harsh way. Okay? Say we met some alien from Venus, one of the few planets we know of. Okay? And we could speak to the alien, but the alien did some kind of... You couldn't understand what it was saying. What we would have to do is eventually interpret it into our language and try to explain it to other people. Okay, so if two people interpret that same thing two different ways, it would be disagreed upon. So all we would get is our translation of another language. Okay? And with that being said, so right now we are all actually a combination of every planet, every alien race, every whatever, because it's going to be whatever we say it is in our language when we try to explain it. That's what it's going to be. So let me move on to religion and spirituality and God, okay? Those are all separate things, but they are summed up in the same category for some reason. What God is not spirit. What God isn't religion. And God, no, isn't an alien. But what I mean in that comparison is that what God really is can't be put into words, okay? This religion, say this person had a huge experience according to the teachings of Jesus, okay? And because they did, they went out and they taught other people, and those people took the teachings of that person who followed the teachings of Jesus and had that experience. So then the people had an experience, and it was really because of that person who followed the teachings of what Jesus was really saying underneath those words. It wasn't Jesus, it wasn't even the words, it was what was underneath it. And it wasn't that person to those people who thought that it was Jesus because that person used the teachings of Jesus to enlighten those people. Now, if you get what I'm saying there, no one ever understands anything completely unless they understand it within themselves. Okay? You can't go, Christ is the only one. There is one God that loves us all and blah, 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 blah. That God doesn't love us all in a way where it's like your mommy and daddy cherish their precious little pookums. That's not what it is. Love is basically the past tense word of live. If it's here and you love it, you have to have accepted it. You love somebody when you say you love somebody. You love it because you know what it is and you've accepted it for what it is. That's what love is. God's love is everything you see because it's allowed and accepted. Everything. And everything that we do, God had so many wonderful creations before physical world had been put into place that God itself allowed us to use our creativity to make something new happen. And when someone does something that is totally new and is thought something totally different, that's when Spirit says, hey, I notice you. That's what I did. Something totally different. Something deeper and truly loving. From a place where I mean it with all my heart and soul. I truly love people. Many people say, I love people, but get mad when other people do things wrong. I don't get mad at the person. I get flustered about why people do what they do when they don't understand how they got to the point of doing it. And I can explain just about anything to anybody if they had the time to listen, but most people don't have the patience and the self-discipline to listen. So in a way, being self-absorbed, once the true self absorbs you into it, you become absorbed into the self, then being self-absorbed would be one of the best compliments someone could give you. At the point when someone called me self-absorbed, I was so insulted because I wasn't self-absorbed in Dan Alexander. I was absorbed in everybody and everything else, all the other opinions of other people. But instead, now, I totally understand the world, who I am, where I came from, and how it all started. And I'm sorry I'm doing this while I'm driving, because there's people looking at me now. I'm pulling into the prison, and There's one police officer or one prison guard pulling out, one walking by, one driving a truck passing me, and I'm here talking on my phone. But anyway, my camera's about to die anyway, and God isn't an alien, and aliens aren't God. But I use that comparison because it truly is what you believe. Because someone else is going to tell you from the time you were born, you'll never get a chance to study it yourself because you wouldn't have been intelligent enough to study it. So all the things we learned were things that propelled us into being able to use our own brain to understand what's really going on without listening to everybody else. That comes to everything, including viruses, sicknesses, illnesses. Everything you see out there is something you need to learn about deep within you. You can use the words we have addressed to call them things so that we can understand them differently than each other. But we are all one thing, learning about itself. Simply put, I love you guys. And please take this to heart and listen to it, and don't think I cherish God. I cherish everything, and the idea of aliens wasn't to be a joke. It's meant to really bring it to your attention, okay? Until next time, I love you, truly. Peace.